Bill Maher, right? Everybody know Bill Maher, for example? He's a radical left maniac with modest television ratings. Right?
I thought I could wind up in Guantanamo Bay. I think I still could. I mean, he was ranting about me all last week again. He's obsessed sometimes. I don't know. He went on a tear for about 8 months when he was president.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. We often say on this program that Democrats are really bad at winning civil wars, and it doesn't look like they're going to win this one. Their own party is again sabotaging, going full bore against Joe Biden, one of the loudest and possibly most illustrious commentators of the left, Bill Maher. And I say that because Bill Maher's had a show for like 20 years, 30 years on HBO. A lot of big names. Everyone sort of rolls through. He's sort of your classical liberal, is demanding that Joe Biden leave office. Now, he's one of many, but he is one of the larger siren callers inside of this kingmaker Democrat establishment that people still somewhat respect, right? The people on MSNBC, the people who work for the Biden administration, nobody respects them. Nobody respects Jen Psaki. Like, they actually listen to Bill Maher. Like, independents and people across the aisle might listen to Bill Maher, along with his naturally leftist and Democrat base. Maher demands Joe Biden bow out of the 2024 presidential race because voters think he's too old. He says that Trump is a similar age. He's seen differently because he's a ball of white-hot anger. Well, okay. I mean, whatever. Donald Trump did say MFer this weekend in California. We'll play you that clip in a second. The host of HBO's hit show hit out at Biden's age on Friday, compared him to Trump. Though the two are just 4 years apart, Maher said that Trump is being insane, makes him stand out. All right. Bill Maher, 67, who hosts HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, also went on and said that Biden is the only Democrat who can lose to Donald Trump. Uh-oh. Let's have a listen.
Someone has to convince President Biden that if he runs again, he's going to turn the country back over to Trump and go and go down in history as Ruth Bader Biden. The person who doesn't know when to quit and so does great damage to their party and their country. All of us who like Joe Biden have been struggling lately with the political situation in the Democratic Party. An incumbent we admire who acquitted himself well in a first term, but who even members of his own party don't want to see run for a second, despite a touching letter of recommendation from Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. I kid. They shouldn't have gotten for
that. Okay, so Bill Maher is, of course, referring to the Democrat panic at polls like this, showing that Donald Trump is up 10 points over Joe Biden. Not in an InfoWars poll, in an ABC News Washington Post poll, showing that Donald Trump would win in a landslide were the election today. Across the board, poll spelled bad news for Biden, with voters souring on his stewardship of the economy, immigration, age, and more. It's going to get much worse. You think this is bad? Just wait. Everything's been propped up. It's all going to collapse. It's going to get far, 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 far worse before anything gets ever better. Biden campaign and administration have boasted about the progress of Bidenomics. 44% of the poll argued that their financial picture has deteriorated under his watch. Biden's approval rating is 23% on the border, 30% on the economy, 37% overall. Joe Biden is unequivocally the least popular president in American history. He is far less popular than Donald Trump was at this point in Donald Trump's first term. So Bill Maher, effectively being the voice of the logical, moderate wing of his party, according to Mediaite, despite the concerns with age, like Maher has, no Democrat has come up with an alternative for President Biden. CNN reported in a recent poll that 82% of Democrats concerned about his age couldn't name an alternative, even though 79% of Democrats don't want Joe Biden to run again. Bill Maher does not want Joe Biden to run again. He said this effusively. He said it in his little podcast, other interview show, this with James Carville, the Democrat pollster, pretty famous.
Cannot run for president. He'll look bad in the debates. It's too much. And he's I think going to lose. He will be Ruth Bader Biden, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg of the presidency. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Bill Maher going after also Republicans for being too old in office, as he rightly should. We are totally in favor of this. He attacked one of our favorite targets on this program, which is Mitch McConnell. We don't like Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell should resign right now. Bill Maher agrees with me, so I now agree with Bill Maher.
Mitch McConnell has served Satan well. But when he starts buffering during a speech, and it appears his soul is leaving his body,
So Bill Maher now using memes. We are officially back, boys. So what was part of the other other part of the monologue that I thought was pretty interesting is him going after Joe Biden for not being able to say the name LL Cool J. Credibility of my argument against ageism rests in the honest calling out of people when it's time to go. That's the case by what it means last weekend when Biden referred to LL Cool J as LLJ Cool J. Say what you want about Trump, but he remembers Kanye's name. Word. President Biden's age has been a hot topic since the day he took office in 2020. He now runs for a second term as the oldest president ever. His age doesn't read like Biden's. Maybe that's because Trump's is insane. Maybe it's because he's always a ball of white-hot anger. But for some reason, he looks robust, and Joe looks like skeletal remains. So, if it was 1860, when Joe first ran, this would not be an issue. Maher continued, I don't think he's going to look good. Yes, Trump is old too, but Trump is like Kiss. He puts on the face, paint, and the wig, and he looks the same as he did in 1978. Maher went on to say to James Carville, the American political consultant, that any centrist Democrat around 50 or 60 would get 55% of the vote. Yeah. So it's, again, full attack from inside of the party. It's also not just Joe Biden that Bill Maher is attacking. It is the ideology of Joe Biden, the ideology that Joe Biden has knelt to completely and debased himself. Remember, Joe Biden was somewhat of a moderate Democrat, or perceived as such, but has kissed the ring of the Marxist left, and Bill Maher has set out against that, and we think that it's honorable that he does this. You need house cleaning inside of your own party. Bill Maher has taken his own party to task over wokism and the communism obviously being practiced by the powerful in their party. Watch.
How do you define wokeness? Because I hear people use the term all the time, and it means something different to everybody.
Well, again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism, but very often undoing it. I mean, 5 years ago, Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him. Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you? 5-10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was, we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't see race. Of course, we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is. Woke is something very different. It's identity politics. We see it all the time. It's always the most important thing. I don't think that's liberalism.